Yeah, I was thinking today talking about. I know it's a very sensitive topic that's been kind of debated, furiously on both sides. But it's just the idea of, how many checks and balances should we have for, let's say immigrants that come to this country and, we accept them in and they get, a lot of aid. A lot of times they do need the aid because, they come from war torn countries that, they barely come with anything at all, just the clothes on their back. But maybe just maybe we should just get this country involved with creating more checks and balances that, hey, okay, if we pay all these different grants to you or you get into Section 8 housing, there should be a way to like monitor how they kind of how they spend that money, and maybe like a payback program where it's like, hey, after 10-15 years, by helping out the taxpayers, you can maybe give a percentage of your income now that you hopefully went to school and got a good job, and now you're like an American citizen, to maybe pay back the country a little bit for like all the taxpayers' dollars that went to funding that.
What if they're just like, nah?
Well, I think a lot of times they definitely say that. Especially it's interesting when coming from maybe certain countries that they view the U.S. as like, man, if it wasn't for them doing certain things, we wouldn't even be in the
poverty or whatever.
Yeah, it gets pretty complicated like that. But
so is most of the people. So I would like to say first and foremost, I do not know what the exact rules are.
Yeah.
But when they come over here and they're getting all these different financial aid, money, grants, whatever, they don't have to pay any of that back, essentially. As far as you know,
I don't think they do. No,
I thought it wasn't. I thought there was some stipulations. Like, I mean, we don't want to use his name, but like, we know who it is. When he went to high school, he got free lunches. I remember that. That was all free from the state. And then college, he got free tuition, but he had to maintain a specific grade point average, and he had to work. So is that enough checks and balances, or do you want, like, if you're working, you got to pay back 10% of the tuition, or like, what are you thinking in terms of payback?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Maybe like pay my 5 to 10% within, not tomorrow, but within maybe like a 10 or 20 year period where the government sees you're back on your feet again. You're making a good living, and to kind of pay back what the country has given you all these years, it's like a small percentage of your income.
So let's say if you're going to school, it would be free, essentially, and then once you get out into the working force, what'd you say, within 5, 6, 7 years, start paying some of that back?
Yeah, like it just kind of deducts, each month a portion of your paycheck to.
So what happens if you graduate and then bounce back to your country?
Yeah, that's a good point, and I think.
And what happens?
Yeah, I think with school loans too, we were talking about that.
Like, that's a real thing. Yeah,
they'll come here and study, and then they'll raise up 100,000,
and they just won't come back.
Yeah, so like schools have been cracking down on that, like to kind of make sure that, hey, we're gonna get our funds back that we loaned out to in education. But I just think a lot of there's a lot now. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of families that come here and they get aid, and they want to make a honest dollar, and they're trying their best just to survive. And
well, it's like anything. It's probably the bad actors who make it seem, make everybody else look bad. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think you could definitely, like, I think there should be stipulations on it. Like, if you want free education, or somewhat free, like with our friend, you have to maintain a certain grade point average. You have to work, and like they'll set you up with a job, and then you dictate whatever percent. A little bit goes back into maybe a charity for people coming over here. Like not just to the government, but you can make that money go in good ways. Pick a charity that you can donate to or something like that. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, because the reason we bring up our friend, and we're not going to name him out of respect for him, but
because we're afraid of him. No,
but our friend has done some very shady things in the past, and
he's worked the system.
Yeah, he's worked the system, and a lot of times it's been kind of an unfair advantage that he's done a few things, and it just kind of like raises the question, like Like how well are we really like looking at these families that we give? I mean, how many? It's over. I think it's a few $1 billion that's of aid that's given out to these.
Yeah, I don't even know it, but I mean, he's buying a house now, and that's probably why we're thinking about this, because it's like, how in the world are you buying a house? Actually, on that loans thing, so I paid off mine. There's a lot of talk with the next election, and we won't go into that, but they want to get rid of, or they're trying to get rid of school debt, which I think is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Have they said anything about like people who have paid back? Like I've paid it back. Like I paid back my loans. Do I get anything for like actually doing it? Or is it just like, oh, you paid it back, thank you, but Johnny over there is gonna get, $60,000 forgiven?
I think I don't think they have a repayment plan. I just think they're just going to give some people a free ride, and which is
kind of shitty.
Yeah,
I mean, pardon my French.
Which is unfair for the people that paid thousands of dollars to pay back their loans. So it's kind of a slap in the face.
Hopefully they can have something, and I get it. It's a really slippery slope, but like, I busted my butt to pay that back.
Yeah,
and like, I could have been lazy and not done it, and I could have reaped the rewards if they come out with something. So I hope they think about the people who have actually paid it back.
There's actually a friend of mine that went to med school in NYU, and her loans are insane.
Yeah,
but,
I bet.
But so the graduating class after her, there was like some wealthy CEO dude. His kid went to that same thing. And he's like, you know what? Just to be cool, I'm paying all your tuitions, all this graduating class. Ooh. So the graduating class after her, he just pretty much he gave like some crazy donation, and now
I wonder if his bank reached out to him.
But yeah, so I think now they actually made it like a rule, like we're gonna give free tuition to the next I think few graduating classes.
So she just missed the cutoff.
Yeah. So her thing is now she wants to write a letter to the dean, like, hey, I know the classes right after mine are getting, free rides, so would you consider, taking me, thinking about me about doing that, so.
And I get it, like, there is, like, you're kind of SOL or, tough luck. I'm not mad, I'm not going to pick it or anything, but I'd be curious if they were like, hey, maybe there is something for, and not even, I'm not, like, money-wise, not even for people who have actually paid back their loans, like, hey, if you've paid back your loans on time in full, you get some kind of, extra tax break or something like that. They could work in something. But
or some sort of stimulus where it's like you try to connect the two crazy pressure points in this economy, which is school loans and like mortgages. Mm-hmm. So maybe if you take care of your loan within a certain time, they'll give you some sort of incentive kickback if you buy your first home, right. Where it's like...
What if you don't even have, like... Or what about, like, a car or something smaller?
Yeah, like a car.
Yeah.
I remember a while they had the Cash for Clunkers. This was, like, during their session, but the Cash for Clunkers deal where you turn in, like, a really...
Old car they give you.
Yeah, they give you, like, a crazy discount on another car.
Really?
Yeah, that was, but they should do that for they should bring that back for cars again. I think they're going to do it again because we're like on the verge of another recession. That's what they've been talking about. Mm-hmm. Within like end of this year or early next year, like we're going to be back to that because. What was it? Yeah, I was watching like the Federal Reserve, that chairman dude. He was saying...
What, Mnuchin or whatever his name is?
Yeah,
I thought he said his name was Munchkin. I looked it up and I was like, dude, his name is Mnuchin.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, Munchkin, yeah, Mnuchin, yeah. But they were saying like countries aren't buying U.S. bonds, which means part of that buyback where they buy the bonds, that kind of eases off our debt, our national debt. So they're not buying anymore because they don't believe in the U.S. the strength of the economy. So they're artificially propping up the stock economy, like the stock market, to make it seem, everything's great. So it's just artificially propped up right now, which is like House of Cards.
Yeah, House of Cards.
Which is eventually, it can only go until Wall Street's like, okay, we've done our best, free fall time.
Yeah.
There goes everything.
I did see something. I don't know if they've done it or if they're going to, but aren't they going to raise the ceiling debt?
Yeah.
Or something like that? It's like, why even keep track of it anymore?
Yeah.
Like, just fuck it, man. Just do whatever you need to do, man. You're never going to pay that back. I don't know. Yeah, I think I hope we're not though, but I think everyone's saying we are.
So kind of, it's crazy because if you were, I don't know if you recall last fall there was a little bit of a scare
Yeah,
during.
there was.
So it was about to go down then, but then they're just like, no, we can't. Trump's going to be. We want Trump to get reelected again, so we're going to move this back up again. So that was a little scare, but they propped it back up during that time.
Hey man, give credit where credit is due. He's built that house of cards, man.
Yeah, he has.
He's built, and I keep seeing stuff where like the job market, the economy.
We're doing great.
Yeah, doing well. The numbers are looking good, but like you said, what's underneath is highly questionable.
So yeah, one interesting thing, there's transportation, like they look at the indexes in there, and transportation right now is like way down, and that's one of the first signs that shows like the economy is because all the trucking services all across the country, that slows down. No one's buying goods anymore.
No one's transferring it.
No one's transferring it. So that's the first sign, and then it goes deeper into that. But yeah, it's the Chinese tariffs too. That's a whole other thing that's making this country a little.
It's been going on for quite a while though, hasn't it? Actually. Yeah. Hopefully they can get get their act together, dude. There for sure should be checks and balances and stipulations, and like our friend, they had to go through a review process, but back then I don't think it's as rigorous as it is today. Back then it was like, hey, you're coming from here, you have this many people, here's affordable housing, you have free food, your education's paid for. But I wonder what it is today. I don't think it's that easy today. So he's almost like grandfathered in. Like his family is grandfathered in. Like his brother went to should we
UCI?
Yeah, UCI. Okay, that's right. Yeah. So UCI. I mean, he's giving back though. Like he bought his house. He's doing really good.
Our friend's brother's a really cool guy.
Yeah, worked 3 jobs. Was sleeping on his parents' couch, paying for their rent, their groceries.
That guy lived the American dream right there. That guy, he pulled himself up man.
So it's like we always polar opposites. Like he did what you would want someone to do. He got the education, but he's now giving back with taxes, and he's bought his house and he's paying his mortgage. But then his brother, who we know, is just milking, just using whatever he can. So it's like, how do you're going to have to take the good with the bad, I guess.
Yeah.
But his sisters, he's got 3 sisters, and they've all got free college tuition.
Wow.
But I'm pretty sure they've got you have to maintain a certain grade average. You have to have a job.
Yeah, it's interesting because we're both born in this country, and our parents they're not wealthy, but they worked very hard to get to where they're at, and they've lived the American dream too, and it's interesting when someone has an advantage over like other. It might not seem like it at first because they're not.
But as you get older, you see
these small advantages really it gives you like a huge leap ahead of most people. And now our friend is getting ready to buy his property sometime next year, and it's just interesting. It's but then it makes you question: should I push the boundary a bit of what's ethical and what's not ethical? And it's just I don't know, it kind of makes you think a little bit.
For me, it's like it's too easy to be upset at that. Like there's so much outrage now that it would be too easy for me to be like, it's BS. I'm angry. I want what is in it for me? But I'm like, you know what? I'm hoping in the long run, my journey will make me a better person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we will know what it's like to grind, to be paycheck to paycheck. Hopefully it pays off. And, our friend, God bless him, but he doesn't know what it's like to scrounge, to, have to penny pinch your paycheck and all that stuff. So I think, he worked the system. It worked. Kudos.
Yeah.
I'm not angry. I'm not... it's just too easy to get angry, man. I'm trying to just be positive and... get what I can get. I remember trying to get financial aid, actually. And at the time, like, my parents were not wealthy. They were, like, solidly middle class. And I didn't even qualify. And I was like, wait, what? How is like Johnny over there and his parents are rich as hell and he's getting this like what the heck? That was a little weird, but
Almost makes you think they had to work the system somehow to
and they did, and that's the thing. I think when you were saying ethical, I think it's, are you willing to work the system? If you, it's out there. You can. There's so much stuff that they give away, grants and money wise. Like I should have done it. I could have gotten so much grants for being Hawaiian.
Oh yeah,
like Pacific Islander, Native American, and there was a bunch of stuff. My mom was like, and I actually agree with her. She was like, "Don't use that," like. Well, I agree and I disagree because it's like, hey, if it's free money, man. Like it's free money. But she was like, do it the right way. Do it, without help, you'll be better for it. But it is what it is. I don't do anything unethical, right?
Yeah.
But if there's stuff out there, look into it, man. You can probably find some help.
The ones I completely agree with, they should get everything free as the Native Americans.
Yeah.
When you looked at when you researched some grants and stuff, they have a lot, and I think they should because they got the short end of the stick this entire.
They got wiped out.
Yeah.
Like their population.
Yeah. So it's like if any Native Americans are out there listening, you guys deserve it. You guys deserve everything you receive. That's good because.
Although they did some fucked up shit too, man.
Like, they did.
But yeah, we literally came in and teabagged them essentially, which was not cool. I was just talking. It's really weird you bring that up. I was talking to somebody about Pocahontas the other day.
Oh yeah, Pocahontas.
We were doing the top 5 Disney movies, and they said Pocahontas, and I was like, if you know the true story of that, it's really dark. It's not a happy story, man. That is. Google that.
The Pilgrims, they're like dying off. They're like, please help us, India. And then they're like, they're like, for sure, we'll give you blankets and all these things. And then the Pilgrims, they just come back and freaking wipe everyone out.
Neil deGrasse Tyson has a really interesting podcast about Christopher Columbus and like how he was actually a douchebag. And he had this island that he would. It was like an intermediary island as he was going through, exploring places. And he would like bamboozle the natives with science and be like, I need you to store all your food here because if you don't, the gods will be mad. And he like timed it with like solar eclipses.
Oh,
so it would be a solar eclipse and the islanders, the natives, would be like, oh my god, the god is mad. We need to stockpile food for Columbus. And so he used like science against them. And they all died, but he got the food and sailed off. And I was like, damn, what an ass, man.
Yeah, they brought their diseases, and then they're just like, hey, on this day, this solar eclipse is going to happen. Well, let's totally punk them and just make them, like, believe that.
Dude, Captain Cook, when he came to Hawaii, from the records, apparently, 60% of the Hawaiian population was wiped out.
Damn.
Like, in a short period of time. And they killed him, dude. They came out in boats, like, with food, and he was like, oh, they're coming out with foods. And then, boom, they busted out spears. Dude, they executed him on Waikiki, I think. Waikiki Beach.
That'll be fun to visit.
It's just like a huge tourist spot. They have no idea. It was like a slaughter fest. Yeah, I don't know. It's... I mean, like, are you, like, upset about the...
And the grand scheme of things where it's like, our economy is just about to like tank, and it feels like billions of dollars getting squandered left and right. So it's like when you see people get unfair advantages, it kind of, I don't know, just kind of makes you step back and take a look at everything. You're just like, is that fair? Like, I don't know if that's really fair or not.
Probably not. But again, it's that whole it's bad, but it's the shit out of luck. That's just the way kind of it is. Yeah. I don't know. Do you think that will ever change? It would take a lot.
I think depending on how crazy this next recession is, I think for sure
there's gonna be some changes.
A lot of funding is gonna get slashed left and right. Of course, I think military will always be.
Dude, they have such a ridiculous budget. It's just not even funny.
So military will never it'll always be there, but I think funding for like public programs like building roads and highways and bridges, that probably is going to go on the wayside. And I think that a lot of social programs will get slashed like pretty crazy.
Although didn't, I don't know this for sure, you're more the expert, Andrew Yang, presidential candidate?
Oh yeah.
wasn't he? So he wanted to do the $1,000 for every person in America or adult. Wasn't he going to slash military budget to get that?
Yes.
Okay. So
yes, he was. Yeah. That was.
I'm down for that. Like.
Yeah, I personally, and not if you guys agree with other politics, we're not here to debate or say I'm right, you're wrong. Like everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Mm-hmm. No matter what side you're on. But this is our
We're all
personal.
Americans.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's an interesting idea. Slash military budget to increase that $1,000 fund that'll be deposited in our account every month. And I think they're also going to go after corporate offshore accounts too.
Although they've been saying that forever, man. Like they've got such a racket going with that. Good luck.
Yeah, got to get to the Bahamas and go to XYZ
They've got
bank.
So many lawyers on retention. Like it just gets caught up in the legal, that's actually like really crappy for us because a lot of that stuff goes to court and just gets tied up in legal. And we end up paying the fees on that stuff, man. Taxpayers do.
That's right.
That's like an irony right there.
10 years, 20 years, they just exhaust the system until someone gives up, and then the corporations win right there.
Which, speaking of corporations, I mean, it's not really corporations. Did you see the Equifax thing?
Oh, I read part of that. Yeah.
So you know that everyone's entitled to $125 for 10 years free credit monitoring. So I already filed my claim, and I put in for the 10 years. I want 10 years free credit monitoring.
That's not a bad gig at all, right there.
Because it was like for the 125, you have to actually you have to already be like a member for so long of this. You have to actually pay into something. So I was like, nah, forget that. $125.
Not really worth it.
Give
Yeah.
me the 10 years. Yeah, you morons. It should be more actually, which is a joke, but
they got off pretty good if you ask me.
So if anybody doesn't know about that, you just go online and you file a claim. It's really easy. But yeah, I think just because it's more pertinent to us, it's more, he's going to buy a house, he's doing good. But I think in the long run, Ryan, I think we're going to be better off.
Yeah, no, we definitely will. I know that'll be good to go. But yeah, if any of you guys out there, maybe, and not to throw shade. This podcast is not to be haters against anyone, but if there's anyone that's maybe had an unfair advantage that personally in your life, and
not even specific like anybody, anything, like even in school or
just feel free to comment on that below, or if you guys want to talk to us about it, we'll pursue that topic a little bit more. But it's just fascinating, like close circle of friends and family and relatives. It's just like where the chips fall, right now in a year and 10 years. It's just like the marathon of life can be pretty interesting when you take a step back and look at everything there.
Well, that's the thing is like who knows what the future holds. Like in 5 years, if there's a massive recession and somehow his house is devalued and now he's stuck paying.
Yeah.
And we get some big break and we go the other way. Like you just never know. But I just want to put out good karma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it sucks. It's a crappy situation. I'm all for helping people in need, but I agree with you. I think there needs to be at least something at some point where, you give them... they have to pay taxes, right?
Yeah, they do.
As long as, then that's technically giving back, right? Or do you have an idea like of what giving back looks like? Like, is it a check from them every month after so many years? Or is it like... they need a volunteer? What do you...
I think Obama, with the school loan system, he had a thing where I think, what was it? If you worked at like some sort of federal government job kind of thing, or teacher, public service, I think within a few years, like they would give you a break or something. But maybe have them work at like some sort of public service job.
And these are like immigrants specifically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if I don't know if that might even be a thing today. I'm not sure. But if you work public service within a few years, maybe
your loans are forgiven type of thing. Or, okay. Yeah.
I think that would be fair. I don't know if that's implemented right now, but I think that would be.
What about like just regular people, you and me, like actual citizens?
Yeah.
That should that be a thing too?
I think that would be pretty beneficial. Yeah. Something to just help to kind of like reverse because it's spending, but like to bring more money back into it, so we kind of decrease that deficit that's pretty much growing every year.
It's a really slippery slope, man, because there are a lot of like immigrants that come that need help, and it's like, dude, we're pretty fortunate to have been born here. Like, what the hell are we complaining about?
Yeah, that's true.
But then again, it's like, hey, this dude's buying a house, and I don't got AC in my car. Come on now.
Yeah, that is very interesting when it's for the most part, like immigrants do need the aid. They come from these crazy poverty-stricken countries that they barely can eat. If you barely got a meal per day, then you for sure need the aid, all the aid you can get. But
well, I told you, Joey had that podcast when he was literally talking. It was Russians specifically, not throwing shit at Russians, but he said that they literally, before they come over to the U.S., they have like a class on what you do when you first get there, how to file for unemployment, how to get a check, how to get money, how to get food stamps. Like the second they get over here, they immediately start working the system.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, do you say kudos to them for using the system, or is it like they shouldn't be allowed to do that when they get here?
Yeah,
or you're just like, hey, if you're gonna use it and you can take advantage of it, more power to you.
There should be, when you first get here, you should access those services, but then it should
not forever.
Yeah, you should be tracked in the system where it's like eventually, okay, you used it for a few years, that's good. Now you're back on your feet. You're in a good position.
Yeah.
Time to repay some of that back because other families each year coming in,
right.
They need aid too. So it's like kind of replenish the cycle a bit.
So I wonder, because there's smarter minds than us that have thought about this. Do you think that's already implemented? They just can't keep track of all those people. Like there's probably a lot of people that come in.
Yeah.
Or they give like fake aliases, or like our friend who gives BS information.
Yes.
BS addresses, BS contact information, and you can't track them down.
That's the thing too. Our friend we know, he BS's on everything. All personal.
Dude, it was crazy, man. It was like, dude, I can't even remember all the fake addresses you gave me.
My gosh. That's the thing too. When it's like you make up everything, how do they track you back down? And that's.
Hopefully they come to some. I'm sure that there's stuff in place though, right? They're not that stupid where they just get. I mean, maybe they are, but.
Well, the thing is, like, so the Republicans, their side is it's very strict, where it's like we should cut most funding
right.
for immigrants and save the budget, save the deficit. But then on the other side, the Democrats are like all immigrants should receive all kinds of funding, sure. And I think there should be like a middle ground.
That's the thing is, it's like. Yeah, it's in the middle. There's probably people that come over here, refugees or immigrants, who might not need maybe the stimulus or the money right away, but there are families who come over here from South America or Middle East or whatever who could use, like you said, a little bit of help.
Yeah.
For a certain amount of time, and then you wane them off. Yeah, there has to be a happy middle ground, which I'm glad our generation is more like centric than left and right, man.
They see the BS on both sides of it.
Oh my god, it's so crazy. Yeah, we don't want to get into politics, but it's just they're a happy medium, man, for sure. There's good sides on both sides, and let's come together. And what's the Beatles song, man?
Oh, Come Together, actually, yeah.
Man, John Lennon, dude.
Come Together by the Beatles.
Let's just all get naked and we'll get in bed for 3 days. Sing songs. Willy Wonka style.
Dang. But yeah, just wanted to kind of bring that up with you guys tonight. Just open up a dialogue.
Can of worms.
Yeah, open up a can of worms with that, and kind of, because I'm sure you guys know someone maybe that has come from a different country. Maybe they're they're probably great people, a great family. They just want to work and make a better life for themselves. Or the opposite. Maybe a family that's out here just to take and just to say screw America, and that. There's also families like that too. So maybe you guys can chime in and give us your personal take on, should funding be increased or should it be decreased, or should there be more checks and balances for how immigrants are given aid in this country? I think that's a pretty interesting topic there.
So leave all responses to Ryan's email. And I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I guess we'll just go ahead and sign off for now. But just some food for thought for you guys.
Yep, take it easy.
Take it easy, guys.